going on, you guys? It's Coach Taylor here. I'm going to be giving you guys some tips on perfecting your deadlift. A lot of people don't know, and I have like a couple clips where I'm able to do I think it was like close to 250, 240 maybe. But a lot of people don't know, before that, I was living in Iowa. I was able to, I worked my way up to 380. That was my max. It was like 385. And I mean, I had a lot of time to dedicate to lifting. I lived on campus when I was there, and working in the gym and working with the basketball girls was my main job. So I had a lot of time to dedicate to lifting. So I'm gonna give you guys a few tips on how to perfect your deadlift, the things that I did in order to build myself up to that point. And I'm gonna work on my deadlift again. I haven't been deadlifting in a while, but I'm gonna give you guys the tips that I'm going to use in order to build my deadlift back up. Now I do have a goal in mind. I'm not going to share that right now, but let's get right into the tips and tricks to perfecting your deadlift the Taylor training way. So I made some notes, okay? So there's 5 things when it comes to deadlifting that are very important before you even touch the bar, or when you're beginning, right? Your first, I like to call your first set your icebreaker set, or like when you like warming up, your warm-up sets. These are the things that you want to focus on before you touch the bar, as well as when you're starting to first pick up the bar. So grip strength. Like, it sucks, and this happened to me a lot, and it finally sunk into my head that, hey, you need to just grip some shit. Everything you do, you need to be gripping something to build up your grip strength if you're really trying to max out and build your max rep up. And I got to 380. So grip strength is very, very important. It sucks when your grip gives out before your legs, and I'm telling you, it happened to me multiple times before it finally sunk into my head that I need to work on my grip strength. Second, compacting your scapula. All right, when you go into the deadlift, you're pulling your shoulder blades back so that you are engaging your lats, right? You don't want to round your back and be in this position. You want a nice flat back when you're deadlifting, so you're not putting a whole bunch of pressure on your lower back. So compacting your scaps is second. It really should be number 1. And I'm sorry to say that if you are not able to compact your scap during a deadlift, then 9 times out of 10, you're not able to compact your scap doing your other upper body movements that require you to do a push, pull, or hinging motion at the elbow. So you're not effective in your bicep curl, your tricep extension. You're not effective in your chest press. Your rows, your push-ups are not effective either, or as effective as they should be. So compacting those scaps are very, very important to get, so that you are getting the tension and force in the areas, or getting those muscles moving that you intend to use for the movement, right? Always remember, as we move, movement requires some stability, regardless of what kind of movement it is. Okay? Traps. Traps, having strong traps. Shrugs. Mainly, so when you say traps, a lot of people, their mind goes straight to shrugs, right? That's the first thing that came to my mind, shrugging. But when you're doing a deadlift, if you have a lot of weight on there, right, your muscles are actually going into the muscles of the shoulders are actually going down. They're getting pulled down. So to counterbalance that movement, you have to have strong traps so they don't get pulled down too far and you end up messing up a muscle in your shoulder, right? So strong trap, like a strong traps. And it also helps with compacting the scaps, with being able to compact those scaps, keep those scaps pulled back nice and secure, because the majority of the contact of the bar is where? In your hands, in your arms, in your upper body when you're doing a deadlift. Okay, strong traps. All right, then lats, your lats. You want to engage your lats. Your lats are helping out your erectors with keeping your torso, your back, your torso nice and straight. So pulling your scaps back engages your lats, right? What I want you to consider is a seated row. When you do seated rows, right, it's essentially a deadlift if you really think about it. So if you can get your seated row, max out your seated row, or get it to a higher rep, higher number, higher volume, however you're tracking, if you can increase what you're doing with your seated row, then in my opinion, it correlates, it will transfer over to your deadlift because you're working on your traps. And I'm not talking about the high row, I'm talking about the low row, right? The lat row, the low row. Then a solid core, primarily the lower back. You have to be able to create compartmental pressure in your abdomen, not just for, and this is good for your squats as well as your deadlifts. That's why so many weightlifters want to wear, or if they're lifting or maxing out, you see them tend to wear a body belt, a weight belt, weightlifting belt. As you're starting out, I do not recommend it, because you want to train your body to not rely on support, right? You do not want to train your body to rely on support. Allow your body to go through building those building blocks, right, before you put on a lifting belt, okay? If you're a beginner, do not start with a lifting belt, because you're not going to be lifting heavy weight, and you want to focus on your form. Part of the form is being able to create compartmental pressure in the abdominal so that that torso is nice and stable. Okay? Then, okay, so I know a lot of people are probably going to be like, what, really? Are you serious? So safety clamps. As a beginner, as I'm starting out, especially for my warm-up sets, I don't like using clamps. If I don't have at least three plates or more on a bar, I will not use clamps. Why? Because as I'm lifting, as I'm training, it cues me to be able to, or I'm coaching, it cues me and signifies if I'm lifting or pulling more with one side than the other. What happens is that the plate starts to slide off of the side that is lacking, right? That's falling behind. Typically it's my right side, given the facts. So I don't like using safety clamps. 2, I mean, I've always been taught, or always, yeah, this was early on, always been taught to have an escape plan when things go wrong. I mean, it's primarily from like bench press. So, you know, if you come down and you're not able to go back up, being able to rock the bar to slide the plates off. So, you know, just doing bar exercises, period, that has transferred over for me. But again, I don't know. But the main thing is to know when the bar is not even for me. That's what it cues. And it just, you know, making sure that that posterior chain is firing evenly, or as even as possible, because we do have deficits between sides. Again, like I spoke about, all the things that you have to prepare for in regards to the upper body, so that you can effectively and efficiently work the lower legs, because everybody looks at the deadlifting exercise as just a lower leg exercise, and in reality it's a full body exercise, just like the squat, just like a push-up, just like a pull-up, like these different calisthenics that we do. It's a full body exercise, but a lot of people forget about the upper body that you have to engage in, that's involved. What else? Okay, so now we went through all that. Now we're going to step to the bar. So there's 3 types of grips. There's the double over, there's the double under, there's the alternating grips or mixed grips, where you have one hand under, one hand over. Then depending on what kind of deadlift you're doing, your foot position and the placement of your hands along the bar are going to change. When you do a deadlift, a sumo deadlift, your feet are going to be wide, but your hands fall in between your legs, right? When you're doing a narrow deadlift, your feet are pretty close together and your hands are they're not close to your feet, but they're on the outside. They're shoulder width apart, right? Then when you're doing a conventional deadlift, your feet are about shoulder width, hip width apart. And then your hands, for me, I line my hands up directly on the outside of my feet. So I go underhand, overhand with my left. So my index finger is lined up with my pinky toe of my left leg. And then on the right, my pinky of my finger is lined up with the pinky toe of my right leg, right? So those are different placements. Now we can get into the bar Romanian deadlift, the RDL, stiff leg, straight leg, bent knee, you know, changing up the angles of, you know, of your knee, of the extension in your knee. You know, it's a lot of stuff, other stuff to get into, but I'm not going to get into that right now. And then the final thing that I wanted to mention was exercises that I did in order to help. So accessory exercises that help build my deadlift up. And it just helped me grip shit at the end of the day. So my grip shit exercises are pull-ups, every which way, you know, every grip, is, you know, changing up the grip as much as possible. Dumbbell rows, we're doing both arms at the same time, bent over dumbbell rows, trying to get that as heavy as possible. Single arm dumbbell rows off the bench. Weighted lunges, again, we gripping shit, but then we also building up our legs, working through our hips. Okay, so that's my grip shit. And then grips. So you get your hand grips and you work those. If you have the old school clamps where you have to squeeze and slide it on instead of the nice ones where you just got that little clip, and you slide it on, you just clip it back. You got the ones where you gotta squeeze it. You can use those as to work on your hand grip while you're in the gym. I don't like wrist curls as much as I like just gripping shit, okay? For me, it's more practical than just sitting here rolling a bar or rolling a weight. And in my mind, I was listening to this baseball coach, and he said he never really had his team do anything wrist curls. And it was like, well, how you get them to build up their grip strength when holding the bat? It was like, well, the more they swing the bat, the more reps they get, then the stronger their grip becomes. Okay, then like opening up the hips during squats and deadlifts are essential, okay? And then like it helped me out. And having stiff ass hips and hips that I couldn't move through did not help my deadlift. Actually, stretching, getting in the range of motion actually helped my deadlift more than not doing it at all. So unweighted deep squats, I like to hold the bar. The more you hang out down there, the better. And then I like to move my hips through the internal external rotation, right? Bring the knee in, bring the knee out, windshield wipers while I'm down in that deep squat. And then I'll come back up and then go back down. Figure 4 stretch, stretching out the outer hip, you know, because it takes a beating, getting deep into that glute, because it takes a beating when you're doing deadlifts. Leg swings, again, range of motion of the hip, and then again it also helps to stretch out the hamstrings, as well as like your waistline. Like especially when you go side to side, I don't know what it is, and then when you go up, when you're trying to bring that leg up, again you feel activation in that glute, and then when you bring it down, you feel that stretch in that glute on the side. Cross body leg stretch, essentially you just lay on your back, cross that leg over, stretch out. Now I'll do that in between sets of my deadlifts to keep them stretched and keep them fresh, and it always helps. And then like it's some other long band exercises, but if you don't have a long band, you can do the stretches without the long band. So you know, just lifting your leg up while you're laying on your back, lift your leg up and down, cross to the side, open the leg out to the side. Do again like leg swings, but you're laying down, so now you're going out to the side and across the body, out to the side and across the body. So just different things to consider. So yeah, again, I'm Coach Taylor, and this has been Perfecting Your Deadlift the Taylor Training Way. All right, so let's go out there, be great, shoot for that 3 times your body weight deadlift, and in the words of Chris Jones, get you some bad bitches on that bar. You feel me? Get them up, move them, let's go. Get them bad bitches on that bar, lift them up, and let's go. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Tailored Training LLC. TAYLOR' Training LLC. All right, look for the logo. Look for the logo. Stay blessed, and as always, everything is motivation. Peace.